Hey, folks, you're probably going to be seeing this on Monday or so. I have a card catalog at my house, and so I store cards in drawers. And over time, the drawers have become filled with things that are now vintage and pretty disorganized. So I'm just gonna sleeve some cards and give some thoughts about why I think the Pokemon Prime era was an incredible time to play the game and kind of some brilliant game design decisions. So I'm sleeving a legend as the first card. Ironically, we're going to talk about legends later, but the Prime Pokemon uh, didn't have any special rules associated with them. They were just really good versions of the Pokemon in question, and they were, if you're like a Magic player, they're pretty much mythic rarity instead of holofoil rare or rare rarity from Pokemon. But the the cool thing about Prime Pokemon was they had this. It's like they had this huge spotlight on them that they were just the best versions of those Pokemon you'd guess you could access. Magnezone Prime, and Mega Prime were part of the successful Primetime deck that a lot of people, notably Drew Holton, played. Kingdra Prime was a phenomenal card, even with the existence of Legends Awakened. Kingdra, Spray Splash, and Dragon Steam were both really, really good. Dragon Steam, we haven't really seen an attack like this since that I can think of, where you're doing less damage if you're hitting the Pokemon you're normally weak to. But yeah, the primes were just no special rules, no gimmick attacks, just really really good Pokemon. And not all of them saw the craziest metagame play, but the truth of the matter is these Pokemon were just best in class. You're seeing it in the celebrations stuff that Donphan Prime made the cut for the Nostalgia 25 guys, but you I'm not sure there's ever been a mechanic that has had such widespread relevance across every Pokemon that it was printed on. Typhlosion Prime was fantastic. I think people did try to do things with Feraligatr Prime, but just not as good as the other stuff that we had going around. Meganium, had potential. Real throwback to Venusaur's energy trends here. But the overwhelming amount of these Pokemon were played, and that's pretty cool. The other thing that's nice is these Pokemon came right before the SP era, and it's pretty seamless transition to, because you're still dealing with single prize Pokemon. The difference is their basics or their level X's instead of the primes, and there's the coolness that you can play like Gengar level X on top of Gengar Prime. But yeah, this is a great pile of vintage stuff I got going on here. Let's talk a little bit about other things. Oh no, so Celebi Prime is fantastic because it's really foreshadowing in a lot of ways what would go on with gimmick Pokemon. That Celebi with Forest Breath let you play an extra grass if it was your active, and it facilitated Tornadus. It facilitated a lot of Terrakion, a lot of great attackers that needed that little boost. It also motivated people to play basic energies, which is usually good for a format. But Celebi is the precursor, in my mind, to Shaman Level X, Detonae GX, Crobat V. Like, it's not sure, it's not drawing you cards in that sense. I guess Smeargle's the precursor, but Smeargle's not part of the gimmick, so it doesn't, check the same box. So I think that's pretty cool. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna circle back to these guys. But yeah, I really like that this era really saw people getting to do cool stuff with the Pokemon that were the central gimmick. I like that there was kind of a secondary gimmick with the legends. I like that regular Pokemon like Jumpluff were also just totally worth playing. Just had a lot of fun in the format. So I mentioned before that Celebi made you want to play Basic Energy. So did Typhlosion. So did a lot of Pokemon. And Magnezone Prime is another good example. Getting and Electric, but he's kind of almost not part of this. But there's so many times in Pokemon where you just want to play Special Energy. It's not a misnomer. Special Energy are just really, really good a lot of the time. You're either getting 2 cards in one with something like Call Energy, where it's the energy that you can attach, and you can also search your deck for guys. But other times it's also acceleration, like Double Colorless Energy. Other times it's doing stuff that a single card, like the flexibility a single card can't do. I'm putting these guys in the wrong pile. Things single cards can't do, like Double Rainbow. Oh, by the way, insane Fermenting Liquid promo Shuckle. Like, what a good card when you're playing that Shaman lose energy anyway. Yeah. So okay, I haven't looked through this, so this is kind of stream of consciousness. I'm just kind of looking as we go through what's in the drawer. Should I re-sleeve these? Yeah, I guess I should re-sleeve these. These sleeves are, from when they were brand new. Yeah, okay. But yeah, it was a fun time to play Pokemon. Events for Pokemon used to be free, which is pretty insane when you think about it. Like the events, all the prizes were also less good, but their marketing budget, I guess they were just shipping out the products people. Oh, I think I'm gonna run out of sleeves before I run out of cards worth sleeving. So that'll be what determines the end of this video, I guess. But yeah, events were free, and so me and my friends would, I don't want to say we wouldn't hesitate. We would probably hesitate, but we'd get in a car and drive from New Jersey to Massachusetts to get championship points. And it was nice that in addition to championship points, you also ran the risk of going home with like a box of cards for no entry fee. And I think that low stakes involvement definitely helped people who were just casuals kind of stick it out and grind out the events with me and my friends. And I think those were just really, really great memories that we got from events being free. I don't think that aspect is something I've really heard people talk about in the past. Oh, German Gasly's, by the way, stocked uncle. Yeah, who knows why some of this stuff is in here. Yeah, that's probably old enough that I just should leave it. But yeah, I really have some great memories of hopping in the car and driving less far than a regionals, but doing so all the damn time to go enjoy events. I think it was also really fun because you'd sort of connect with the people who are a little bit outside of your own radius. And so by connecting with those people outside your radius, you had the chance to kind of grow as a competitor. You got to meet new people, which is always fun. but it also meant like when you got a chance to go to the big events, internet Pokemon was pretty, I don't know, relatively strong, but not, not the juggernaut of Burbank and Twitter community and everything else that people probably know today. So I really enjoyed, you show up to the event, there's the people that you know, but then you're hanging out with them and the people they know, and it's really reminiscent of, this is gonna sound silly, the Magikarp salesman, when he tells Ash that trading Pokemon makes friendships grow deeper and stronger. But like, yeah, that we kind of lived it back in the day. Yeah, I didn't have a good plan for how I was gonna end up getting through all these. So yeah, let me return to sleeving. I have more sleeves than the ones I've shown on camera so far, but this is gonna pick up at a later date. And yeah, shout out to Ultra Pro for having supply during a global supply crisis. Not not sponsored. Hashtag not an ad, I guess. But yeah. So Sunflora, we're gonna talk about a few random cards as I kind of go through. Sunflora and Sunshine Grace getting a search deck for grass Pokemon is incredibly efficient, but the ability to draw multiple cards was so omnipresent at this time that having to play crappy 40 hit point basic was not worth it. Having to evolve to a stage 1 was not worth it. I've like lost my train here. Yeah, okay, so Raichu GL. Great that you could actually use this attack for free with SP gain before free attacks for thing. Oh, and repeat lightning. For each of your opponent's bench Pokemon that has any damage counters on. So repeat lightning for 1 energy 30, because of the gain, and you'd think that it kind of combos with Crobat and his own ability, and even like Split Bomb on Infernape. You'd think that you could get to 80 for 1, and that would be good enough. But the SP era was so, rocked by Pokemon doing 1-hit knockouts that it basically wasn't worth it. There are a few ways you'd get to those 1-hit knockouts. Sometimes it would be Skuntank, I guess I'll sleep for emphasis, with Toxicroak, that you could end up doing 60 plus poison, and you're gonna hopefully hit somebody with psychic weakness, which is always super cool. There was a lot of hitting for weakness. Relicanth with Grand Swell. Grand Swell is like the anti-tool drop attack. 30 damage for each of your opponent's tools and stadiums. But with SP gain being so prevalent, you could Grand Swell for 120 pretty easily, or 60 in the weakness. Weavile G, really great Pokemon to set up with. Really, so the Honchkrow and Weavile had a weird thematic thing going on, which was for free, they were going to set up your power spray, because Weavile would search out for the Pokemon that you didn't have, and you would basically pass the turn having made power spray viably live, and then your opponent had to guess if you had it or not. And then Honchkrow did the opposite, where you obviously had the Pokemon, then you just show your opponent that you went and you got the power spray. This is not a good hand motion because I'm showing the person across from me where there is no one across from me. There's only you, the listener. But yeah, a lot of cool stuff happening during the start. Driftbloom Facebook. No, it's really Frontier Brain, but I don't want to risk that everyone knows that because it's been so long. If your opponent has 3 or less prize cards left, Driftbloom gets more hit points. Like I mentioned, the 1-hit knockouts being so critical, he could have some more staying power, which is pretty important. It's nice that he resisted Colorless because it made it harder for Garchomp to KO him. But he actually did weakness to bench Pokemon, which was pretty unusual back then. But psychic weak Pokemon you wanted on your bench, like Uxie from Legends Awaken, were really, really common at the time. Yeah. Also, a lot of the SP Pokemon have 2 times weakness, so Lucario changing weakness to 2 times weakness might not have seemed like the most groundbreaking thing, but it helped to get there. Like when you think about the quantity of damage your benched Lucario could increase just for sitting there, it's way more than what we see on Deancey Prism Star. It's way more than we see on the Regirock that does it. So yeah, pretty cool. So Dialga G with Deafen. This is a card that made me into a stronger player. I didn't have an interest in playing Dialga decks in events, but I had an interest in playing Gengar decks. And Dialga, between this and his level X just being so powerful, were definitely part of the what I had to consider to try and beat other challenging opponents at events. And I was picking up Dialga and playing it dozens of games a week at events for casual games, in between events, playing with friends, because I really understood that playing a deck and being able to kind of gauge, like, will my opponent be able to do the thing I'm worried about them doing, would be really critical in my own success. And it also kind of let me see how to play out weird situations across the metagame, because it's not like I'm sitting and playing the same matchup over and over. But I was actually playing tons and tons of fresh matchups, which is helpful. But yeah, I am out of sleeves for now. I'm not gonna do anything weird and have people pause and come back or something. But yeah, join me next time where I do some kind of collection maintenance. Until then, have a great weekend. Weekend. I don't know when you're going to see this. Take care. Bye.